Welcome back to the channel for another video on our 22 WRX. So this video has been a long time waiting. There's basically not much left to do on the car, but we are missing one crucial part to make a lot more power. And that part is the Cobb Flex Fuel Kit. So over at the bench, I have everything already unboxed. So let me show you what we have to get installed on the car today, and we'll get it installed. Let's go. So over here at the bench, we have our Cobb Flex Fuel Kit. Over on the left, we have the actual Flex Fuel Kit, and then this is the fuel pressure sensor kit. So on the Cobb CAN gateway that they have here, the Flex Fuel sensor is going to plug into sensor 1, and sensor 2 is for this optional kit here. Now, it is optional, but I do recommend getting this because currently the ECU can only monitor the high pressure fuel pump and the high pressure line and what that is at. So we currently don't know what our low pressure line is doing, and by adding this kit, it's going to let us monitor that. And by monitoring it, it does add another layer of safety when we're using this Cobb kit and when we are increasing the power. But this is the Cobb Flex Fuel Kit that I've really been waiting to get installed. I just wanted to get the STI completed, like tune-wise, before we get this installed, just in case something happens. Because if you guys are new to the channel and haven't seen this car yet, this is our 22 WRX. It has a STI 6-speed swap, has all the goodies on it. ETS turbo kit with the G3900. We are currently at around 24 PSI on pump gas, and when we were at 20 pounds or 20 and a half, we were at, our dyno sheet is right over here. We made 408 and 413 on National Speed's dyno jet. Mikey has tuned it. We just went to National Speed just for some numbers. And then we raised it another 3 pounds. So I'm guessing we're somewhere around that 420 to 430 range right now on pump gas, with about 3 more PSI of boost over our dyno graph right here. Because the only difference between that dyno graph and here, we do have the IAG upgraded high pressure fuel pump, and we got recalibrated for that. He did give me a couple extra pounds of boost. But with this Flex Fuel Kit, this is going to allow us to run up to max E80, like full E85. We're probably going to be running like E30 or E40 blend most of the time. I just don't think there's a need to run full E85. Like currently, we still have a stock engine with just all of these parts on. So now the engines are very strong. So the first thing that usually goes on these once you raise the power is the head gasket. So you usually lift ahead, so if something does happen, that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, we will see once we get all this installed. It's going to be a pretty fun install. We don't really have to take anything off besides just some fuel lines, and we just plug some stuff in, mount this cool stuff in the engine bay. Now, the few installs that I saw, they did have you remove this. I don't really think we need to. I can get my hands back there to get to the 2 mounting points here, because they do have these extended studs, so we can get the flex fuel sensor mounted. We will need to get under the car to run, what is it, this hose, because this goes in our AC drip, and I will show you guys all that. But there's basically 2 parts of this install. There's one under the hood, and then one in the car, because you do have to take the radio out to get to the CAN bus module, and we can get this plugged in. But enough talking. Let me get you guys set up over here. We're going to start with some of the under the hood stuff. We need to take this line off here. This is our low pressure line here. There is a quick disconnect back here and one right here. This blue one right here. So these should just pop out with some flatheads, and then we can just basically just put all of this stuff on. So the low pressure sensor is going to go on this line here, and then everything else should just plug right into our sensor when we get it mounted up. Let me get you guys set up and let's start putting some stuff on. Let's go. All right, so we have our Cobb flex fuel bracket assembled here. We have the Cobb can gateway with our sensor 1 plugged in to our flex fuel sensor. Everything's all mounted up with this nice billet bracket that they have for us. So to get this installed on the car, they do have these 2 standoffs that we install on the firewall. They should just screw right on. Then we have the matching hardware to lock it in place when it's on the car. And then we have one fuel line to take off on the car. It does have these quick disconnect connectors just like these. So we're just going to unplug that. And this basically is just going to go in line. So we have 2 fuel lines here. So just one of them is going to connect to the top of the flex fuel sensor. One of them is going to connect to the bottom. This is going to connect onto the car as well for our sensor plug-in 2. And that's what this is going to plug into. So we kind of got everything all assembled right now. Let's go over to the car and let's start taking off our fuel line and get everything installed on. So our Cobb flex fuel kit, which you can see just back here, fully installed. We have the CAN gateway down there as well that you can see, literally like right there. So we have everything routed up. We did not need to take the AOS off. This was the only line that was kind of like weird routing, but it just wraps around the front, goes over the AC line, and then goes into the top of the ethanol sensor. And then the bottom hose, pretty simple. That just clips in down here into our new sensor. And then this goes to sensor number 2 on the CAN gateway bracket. So that's basically part 1 of this install. So everything under the hood is basically done. The last thing that we do need to do is, I guess, jack the car up on this side and fish that one wire through the AC drip or the AC drain, which I will show you guys in a little bit. And then we have to go on the inside of the car, and that's when basically the second part of the install is with us trying to get this guy installed into the stock CAN bus system. And that's how the magic works. So basically all the sensors plug into the CAN gateway, and then all of that plugs into our Cobb like piggyback, and that plugs right into the CAN gateway, that plugs right into the like OEM CAN bus system, and that's how like everything works. So, and then we have our plug and play harness just for that. So part 1 of the install done. Let's jump to the inside and let's get under the car and let's finish it up. All right, so we are under the car here, and you can see our AC drain is right here. So we're actually just going to take this, well, it's hard to do with one hand, but we take this off, and then we have our new grommet right here. So we'll slide this in, and then that hose can slide through here, and that is going to let us get that harness here. It's going to let us plug this bad boy into our Cobb unit that's going to go inside the car. So let's get this grommet pulled out and let's get our new one put in. All right, so you see I have the wire routed through, and I just have the hose just started. So we're just gonna get that plugged in right there, and then this should come out of the passenger floor. So we'll jump over there next to pull this wire through, but let me get this plugged in and we should be good to go. All right, so now that we have our wire pulled through right here from under the carpet, we're basically done with going underneath the car and under the hood. So everything left is just going to be on the inside. We're going to start with taking off this trim piece on the side here, and we should be able to just pull all of this off. There'll be 2 screws over here, so we can take the trim piece off around the radio. And then it should be pretty straightforward as far as taking the radio out, unplugging it. And once we have everything unplugged, we'll look to see what everything looks like before we plug in our new Cobb module. But yeah, let's get this taken apart and let's go. All right, so our radio is out. That was a bit of more of a pain than I expected just to get all these clips out. That's probably my Achilles heel with working on cars are electrical connections, and these have never been removed, so these did give me a little bit of trouble, but I just used my, I think it's over at the bench over there, but I used my orange plastic trim removal tool that I used to just pop this stuff off, and I got all those out. So all that work was to get to this guy down here. We're going to take these 2 screws out and unplug it from its connector, and we'll get the Cobb one plugged in, and then it's just reverse from there. So we'll put the head unit back in, get everything clipped back in, clip the surround back in, put our 2 Phillips screws back in for our surround, and everything just clips right back in. So let's get this taken out and let's get it hooked up to our Cobb unit. All right, with our Cobb module plugged in, now we have to run the wire from, that was underneath the car, I don't know if you could see it. We need to put that up through the dash, and we should be able to grab it with our hand in just a second. All right, now with everything plugged in, we got our carpet pushed back in. The wire just came right through it, and it's literally just long enough to plug in, nice and snug. All the other wires out of the way. So now it's just reverse installation. Let's get the radio plugged back in. Then we'll get those 4 screws put back in to hold the radio in. And then we'll just continue on getting all the trim put in. We're almost done. Let's go. And just like that, the interior is put all back together, and we have installed our Cobb Flex Fuel Kit. So now that everything is installed, I will be hitting up Mikey so we can get a retune for the Flex Fuel Kit and the G3900 Turbo Kit we have on here. I'm expecting about 80 to 100 horsepower increase with this kit, and then we just have to keep cylinder pressures in check as we still have a stock head gasket on this car. So it could easily blow if the boost gets out of control or if the timing is too advanced. But I have full faith in Mikey that we can get this car over that 500 wheel horsepower mark that we're trying to hit on a stock engine, unopened, stock head stud, stock head gasket, just a bunch of bolt-ons, and a flex fuel kit. But if you're excited for the next video where we're going to be tuning this car and doing some street hits, be sure to like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Till next time.